Grab Angela for a second.
Yeah. Good morning. We're going to get started with the meeting of the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada. Ms. Maynard
Thank
Carey.
you, Chairman. Thank you, Chair, members of the Commission. Your first item is to conduct your first citizens participation period.
This is the first time set aside for public comment, and in wishing to provide public comment with regards to a matter on today's RTC agenda, please step forward to the microphone, state your name for the record, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hi, Laura Hendricks, CEO of TransDev, and I'm here to make a comment on item 47. And I just want to say how much I respect MJ Maynard's leadership, the RTC management, and the board's support. As you all know, MJ has been a very active leader in public transit. TransDev is the largest operator of public transit in the U.S., and without MJ's support in all levels for public transit, it wouldn't be possible to serve the communities that we do. So thank you very much, MJ, and thank you all for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Hendricks. Next speaker. Not just a bus driver.
Just a bus driver, Dennis Hennessy. Missed you last month. I was working the CES convention, so making that kind of money was a little bit more important than coming up. I wanted to take a minute. I missed last month's meeting, but I did watch it. Just a couple things I want to emphasize. You guys, you need to start really digging into all these statistics and facts and figures that you're hearing. They come from you, from MJ to management with your contractors. You need to dig into them a little more. Facts and figures that 3-minute response time from BOC to drivers. Dig into that a little bit because I just think it's not accurate. MJ spoke about driver assaults in November being 2. No Astor got up, even though the pictures were from an incident he had in 2024. He was assaulted the week before last month's meeting. And in fact, there were 6 driver assaults in the month of November, not 2. So you guys need to start digging into some of those statistics. Don't just take them for face value, because especially now, with everybody jockeying to get in good standing for the RFP, that's what you're getting. I just think that you need to dig in, get your little dogs out, and bark if you have a question. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
I'm Stanton Holliday. I'm a bus driver also. And I kind of had the same thought that he had. I've been driving 18 years, and I've been listening to the back and forth about TransDev, are they better or worse or whatever. And one of the things I had in my notes is the same thing. I hope you all make your decision on what company you hire. Base it on facts and statistics. I haven't been at very many of these meetings. I don't know what the drivers say in here, but what I hear from a lot of drivers is kind of hearsay. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of facts. And I'm sure you guys handle multi-million. I don't know if you handle $1 billion or not, but I'm sure you all handle millions of dollars, and it's you all's responsibility to take care of the money. So I hope you look at what's it going to cost to switch companies, et cetera, because basically, my point of view, I got here in 2022, my coworkers hated Keolis, okay? Now, and I'm an outsider. I drove for 14 years in Illinois. And then you get a new company, now my coworkers hate them. Or we the boy crying wolf. So I'm recommending the same thing the gentleman just said. You know, you guys are responsible for millions and I don't know how many millions. But when you make your decisions, look at what it's going to cost. I even heard, I'm sure my time's running out, I'll make one more point. A friend of mine, he said, well, when they call us in on the camera thing, that's harassment. I'm a retired supervisor, okay? If they call you in and give you suggestions, et cetera, and they don't call it a verbal or a written or whatever, that's just counseling. I thought Keolis was really loose and lax. And my personal feeling, and I'm sure my friends might not agree, but they kind of spoiled. And they're not used to being supervised, okay? So keep that in mind when you're making decisions. But the main point I want to leave you with, think about all the money you're responsible for and look at all the facts, et cetera, before you make a decision. And don't go by hearsay. Go by what you got on those computers, okay?
Thanks, sir. Next speaker. Mr. Nimrod, welcome back.
Hey, glad to be here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. The marvelous RTC Commission. Fantastic Mayor Shelley. The Justin Jones, the Justice Justin Jones, and the marvelous MJ saves the day all the time. My name is Eric Melchizedek Christ Nimrod. And since this is Black History Month, I'm going to tell the truth again. My name, Nimrod, means valiant, strong in the Hebrew language. You can fact check that in Young's Analytical Concordance to the Bible, page 696. The rabbis say that my name means rebel because it's some way attached to marad, which means rebel in the Hebrew language, you know. You can put a bunch of intellectuals in a room and they can make up anything sound feasible. But that's completely wrong. I would like to talk to the rabbis. All right, now, Agenda 44, I say yes for the donation of equipment to the Just One project. Agenda 45, I say yes to the donation of the equipment to the Cristo Rey St. Victor's Las Vegas Work Study, Inc. And I say hooray, hoorah, and yes to the CEO. MJ's job performance has been and is always outstanding, Agenda 47. And I am totally with that. So thank you very much, and continue.
Thank you, Mr. Nimrod. Any other speakers? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the first public comment period. And I'll just note for the record that Commissioner Sagerblum and Councilman Wanless are excused from today's meeting.
Thanks, Chairman. The next item is to approve your agenda. It is in order and ready for your approval.
I'll entertain a motion. There's a motion to approve the agenda. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is to receive your CEO report, and it's always a great day when we can start by recognizing amazing employees. And so first, I'd like to begin today's CEO report by recognizing two amazing RTC members. We call them Superstars of the Quarter. This first individual consistently demonstrates RTC's core values through positivity, teamwork, and a genuine commitment to helping others succeed. He goes above and beyond by mentoring new employees, sharing his experience, and offering encouragement to support the learning in the FAST department. That's our traffic management division. Beyond his impact on people, he has also made meaningful operational improvements like optimizing traffic signal timing on Warm Springs to make afternoon travel more efficient. He has also updated system data to more accurately reflect road speeds, benefiting the entire team. His patience, and of course you have to be patient in that division, his professionalism and his collaborative approach have earned him the respect of his peers, and he really inspires all of us. And so our first superstar of the quarter is, drum roll please, Yusuf Cosby. And our second superstar of the quarter, this individual made an outstanding contribution to RTC's safety and emergency preparedness efforts. He successfully planned and executed a complex agency-wide tabletop exercise, ensuring strong participation and collaboration across all departments. The exercise received positive feedback and helped identify critical areas for improvement that are already being addressed. Additionally, he's expanded RTC's emergency readiness by strengthening agency communication. His dedication and expertise have positioned RTC to better serve the community. And our second superstar of the quarter is Gonzalo Garcia. If we could have Yusuf and Gonzalo come down and take a picture with our commissioners, and thanks for being the amazing RTC team that you are. Way to go, Yusuf. When you're sitting at a green light, think of Yusuf. Thanks again, you guys. Okay, next we would like to recognize an outstanding operator from TransDev. His name is Alan Williams. Let's watch as Sabrina Glenn, she's our Senior Director of Transit Services, surprises him with the Crystal Bus Award.
Thank you, MJ. It's an honor to recognize Alan Williams, one of our outstanding operators with TransDev. Alan joined TransDev less than a year ago and quickly demonstrated that his commitment to safety extends beyond the operator's seat. He displayed courage and composure when he took life-saving actions twice while on duty. During the first instance, Alan noticed a man at a bus stop who appeared to be unconscious. He immediately secured his bus and went to check on the individual. He inspected for a pulse, called 911, and began chest compressions until paramedics arrived. Less than a month later, Alan had a passenger who became unconscious while on board. Without hesitation, he safely pulled over, contacted 911, and once again began chest compressions. When paramedics arrived, they noted that Alan's quick response likely saved the passenger's life. Through his decisive actions and dedication to the well-being of others, Alan exemplifies the highest standards of service. We are proud to recognize him as a truly deserving recipient of the Crystal Bus Award. Now let's go surprise him with the Crystal Bus.
Hi, Alan, how are you? I'm Sabrina Glenn. I'm the Senior Director of Transit for the RTC. And on behalf of our CEO, MJ Maynard Carey, and our Board of Commissioners, I just want to take an opportunity to acknowledge your bravery, exceptional commitment to our community, and honestly, saving someone's life. And so on behalf of all of them, I want to present you with this crystal bus and just say thank you for all you do. Absolutely. Congratulations.
Hello, guys. I just want to thank my company. I just want to thank Transdev. I want to thank RTC. Thank you for this reward. I really appreciate it, and I'm here for my community. This is why I joined this company, and I love it. I want to thank you guys. Thank you so much for this trophy, this honor trophy. It means a lot to me.
Alan, stand up. Let's give you a large applause.
That is a big deal. You are a big, oh, so exciting. Just so happy we get to recognize employees like that. Okay, we get to do it again. We are going to recognize Melvin Hervé. And Melvin is, let me find my place here. He is one of our drivers for Tango, it's our on-demand service. Again, Sabrina is going to surprise him with the Crystal Bus Award.
Thank you, MJ. It's an honor to recognize Melvin Hervé, a Tango car driver who consistently demonstrates professionalism, compassion, and exceptional customer service. A local minister who was using our service took time to share an individual's experience while riding with Melvin. The minister observed that Melvin assisted the passenger with physical challenges by displaying patience, courtesy, and kindness throughout the trip. He noted that Melvin ensured the passenger felt respected, supported, and safe. His demeanor and care made a lasting impression and reflected the very best of public service. Melvin's commitment to customer care and treating every rider with dignity exemplifies the values we strive to uphold. We're proud to recognize his outstanding service and the positive impact he makes in our community. Now, let's go surprise him with the Crystal Bus. Hey, Melvin, how you doing? I'm good, thank you. So I'm Sabrina Glenn. Nice to meet you. I'm the Senior Director of Transit for the RTC, so we oversee the program that you are kind enough to drive for us. And I just, on behalf of our CEO, MJ Maynard-Carey, and our Board of Commissioners, wanted to acknowledge you because we've received some really good feedback about the work that you're doing and how you are transporting our passengers on a daily basis. We've got customers calling in and just saying what a good job you're doing. And so on behalf of everyone, I wanted to recognize you with our agency's Crystal Bus Award to say good job and congratulations.
Thank you. Just want to say thank you to Ms. Sheila, and thank you to RTC, and I'm going to keep up the good work.
Melvin, stand up. Melvin? Here? There he is, okay.
All right, you two, come on down and take a picture with our commissioners.
One more. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Mike?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you guys doing today? That's my lovely wife, my family. First of all, I want to say thank you to my lovely wife for standing by me through the good and bad, the hardest times, and thank you for guiding me. I want to say thank TransDev, RTC, the whole thing for accepting me as a member of you guys. I want to say I am an ex-firefighter. You know, I'm certified of CPR, and I was trained. I knew what to do in certain situations when it come down to that. But I want to let you guys know every day I put my heart into my job because I know, you know, in our city, it's a lot of mental illness. You know, so it'd be a lot of mental illness walking to our coaches, and you have to be prepared to understand, you know, people go through things and it's reasons for everything, you know, and these guys, a lot of people, they like to do drugs, you know, and they, for some reason, they go on our bus and act a fool. But I try to send a spiritual message, you know, to people when I see, whenever I'm sitting in that seat and I see somebody out of nowhere. Oh. You know, I always go out of my way to give somebody a spiritual message because, you know, you never know what they're going through and something they might need to hear to brighten their day. But what I really wanted to let you guys know, I feel every bus driver should have a device, a Narcan device for situations when people overdose or, you know, on our bus, that we can save their lives. You know, all it takes is just you put the Narcan inside their nose and pump one time, and it sobers them. It sobers them up. You know, but I feel that every bus driver should have that for emergency, just in case. And y'all should have a class to teach them how to operate it. It's real easy, but that's all I wanted to share with you guys.
That is definitely a definition of a hero. So thank you so much for all that you do. So now I'd like to provide an update on transit ridership, as we do every month. As you can see here, on demand. This is, again, December, that's usually 2 months behind. So a 16% increase in the on-demand service, a 7% increase in the strip service, and then a 3% decline in the residential service. And that really is tied to construction and construction impacts. The routes with ridership increase, again, even though we had a 3% decrease in overall ridership, we had more than 22 routes experience an increase in ridership year over year. This month, I'd like to highlight 3 routes that are newly added to the chart. So the 209, that's the Vegas-Owens route. The 217, that's the Warm Springs Lake Mead Parkway route. And the Centennial Express. These ridership increases can easily be tied to changes in or completion of construction, along the corridors. And then this chart again provides a comparison of scheduled service versus missed service. As you can see, overall scheduled service increased by 2.82%, and believe it or not, a lot of that has to do with the days of the week that are in each month, because we provide different levels of service depending on weekday versus weekend. We also saw an increase in 0.6% increase in missed service. And again, that is the impacts of construction along Maryland Parkway, Boulder Highway, Lake Mead, and Charleston. And then the fleet requirement versus fleet availability, the dark bars, that represents what we need. That is our full capacity or inventory of buses. And then you see what we have in terms of what we need for pullout, spare ratio requirements by the FTA, and then those vehicles that are in that are getting maintained. I want to recognize the maintenance team. I know we recognize the drivers, but the maintenance team, they're the ones that are making it happen. Without a bus, obviously we can't pick up those passengers, so I appreciate their efforts to keep vehicles safe, reliable, and ready for service. And next, I'm going to have Tom, Senior Director of Safety and Security, Tom Atterbury. He's going to go forward every month and talk to you about our safety updates. His leadership, he's made such significant impact in his, I don't know, year or two. How long have you been with us? He's amazing. So I'm going to turn over to Tom now to talk about safety and security statistics from a year-over-year perspective.
Thanks, MJ. Good morning, Chairman Jones, honorary council members, and city mayors. Thank you for the opportunity to present several slides on safety and security. For the record, Tom Atterbury, Senior Director, RTC Safety and Security Operations. So the first slide will go over our removals. As you can see, we're up 59%, which is a very large increase. December 2024 through December 2025, we went from 11,583 removals in 24 to 18,436 removals in fiscal year up through December of 2025. Just to give you a small snapshot, we looked at 1 week just on the strip. For 7 days from January 25th through January 31st, Intercon removed 829 sleepers off the bus just in 1 week, just on one route on the strip. That's a lot. Why the big increase of 59% from last fiscal year to this fiscal year? Strong contract compliance from the safety and security team. The entire team is here today and they do a great job. Your support on SB 290, removing disruptive passengers from the bus, and Intercon being very proactive with that and getting bad actors off the bus. Strategic deployments and being proactive by both my team and by the Intercon team and recognizing that. And then our team has done 3,600 observations out in the field, you know, just looking kind of for chinks in the armor when Intercon's not in the right place or not doing the right thing. We make corrective action quickly and they course correct. So all those things come into why we've got such a big increase on the removals. Next slide, please. The next slide will be on trespasses. We had a slight increase on trespasses, not quite as big as with removals. We went up by 10. We had 93 in December of 2024. We increased by 10 to 103 in December of 2025. Currently, we have 8 individuals who have been permanently trespassed off RTC property and off the buses. They're habitual offenders and have committed several acts of violence against either other passengers or coach operators. And it goes without saying, we continuously work with Metro and our law enforcement partners every single day. We're reviewing video and working with detectives to help solve crimes. And just within the last 7 days, we helped locate and apprehend a rape homicide suspect, and the team did a great job. Shout out to my manager, Judy Lopez, and also Dago for reviewing the video and finding the individual and working with finance to help Metro take this person into custody. And then the last slide, and I'll be brief on this, it covers passenger on operator assaults and then passenger on passenger assaults. So again, we're just comparing December of 24 to December of 25, and I think Councilman Barone asked for this type of chart that shows the fluctuation over the months. So in December of 24, we had 2 passenger on driver assaults, and then in December of '25, we had 2, so that hasn't changed. Passenger on passenger assaults has increased slightly from 22 this year in December of '25 compared to 15 last year in December of '24. I will say on the passenger on passenger assaults, although we take those very serious and we're doing everything we can to do that, hardly any of those individuals on passenger are actually transported. A lot of them, they hit each other and they run away, or there's something like that. But very, very few of them are severe injuries where they're actually transported to the hospital. In closing, we've had 1 8-hour dark post in the last 21 months. That's a credit to Intercon and strict contract compliance compared to previous years. And then the team continuously reviews hundreds of use of force incidents and requests from law enforcement. So that's all I have at this time. If there's any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer.
Any questions from the board? No? Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you.
Appreciate Tom Atterbury and his background, his credibility he's brought to our agency and to his team. Judy and the others, thank you. So board, you again have asked us, we are going to update you every board meeting on the previous board comments, public comments. We heard last year that on the fixture outside an operator raised concerns regarding 2 assaults that took place in 2024 and 2025. Following the board meeting, TransDev discussed the incidents referenced by the operator, which had previously been investigated and closed. However, out of abundance of caution, because you saw the pictures too, it's an awful, awful thing when any driver is assaulted in any way, shape, or form. And so TransDev is going to review these investigations again, just to determine whether any additional actions could have been taken. I also we heard from another operator that talked about the distribution of vehicles between Sunset Maintenance Yard and the IBMF yard in North Las Vegas. All of the, and there's sort of the perception that just the new buses are at Sunset rather than going to the IBMF yard. Our team, RTC team, we are required when we receive new buses, they arrive at the Sunset Maintenance Yard, and then there's a procedure where they have to be officially accepted. And once that's done, then the inventory that needs to be replaced at IBMF. Sorry about that. Then so then the new buses that have been accepted at Sunset go to the IBMF yard. So we'll always keep a track on that, but each yard has a finite number of buses, but the new buses start at SMF and up at IBMF. And that concludes my CE report, unless you have any questions for me.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. The next item is to receive the Nevada Department of Transportation Director's Report from Director Tracy Larkin-Thomason.
Good morning, everybody. No slideshow today. It's a relatively short update. We are finalizing the I-15 preservation project this month. It should be done, substantially done by February 24th. That is the 215 from Las Vegas Boulevard to Windmill Lane. And then also we are just kicking off the US 95 preservation project, which is from 17 miles from Nelson Road to I-11 Junction Mill and Overlay. So that'll start this spring and anticipated to be done later on this year. And then I just wanted to follow up on earlier this year, or probably late last year at this month, I mentioned that we had worked with RTC and we had worked on the other 4 states, California, Nevada, and Utah, on emergency operations across. And we're coming up on our 6-month shout out on what we had followed up on. And again, I want to give kudos to FAST, so Teresa Gaisner, and particularly in this case, John Arias, for the work that they have really worked with the traffic operations centers. And they have put together diversion plans, so when there is incidents on I-11 and I-15, there are established routes, and identified the routes that have limitations for freight, so identifying freight carrier message gaps. And while we have also, like I said, we have enhanced the operations between San Bernardino County, Phoenix, Arizona, and Salt Lake City, we've been using this as a model to expand, and I've had discussions with Idaho, Sacramento, Washington, to go up to Seattle and Portland. and then working out there. So we're using this as a model to expand across particularly the interstate network in the western United States. So again, I just want to really point out the type of work that is being originated here in Las Vegas and the type of coordination that's being done across the states. And it is led, it is a very much leadership with RTC and the FAST machine. So I just want to give a shout out to them. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Larkin-Thompson. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chairman. The next item is to approve your consent agenda, which consists of items 5 through 45 and can be taken in one motion.
I'll entertain a motion. There's a motion on the floor. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item, agenda item 47, will be handled by our Chief Human Resources Officer, Decretia Harris.
Ms. Harris.
Good morning, members of the board. This item is to evaluate the performance of the Chief Executive Officer for the period of January 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. Formulate recommendations on management goals and objectives for 2026 and adjust compensation to take action as deemed appropriate. On November 13th, 2025, the Board of Commissioners appointed Chair Justin Jones, Vice Chair Isaac Barone, Mayor Pro Tem Brian Knudsen, Councilman Jim Seebach, and Mayor Joe Hardy to serve on the Evaluation Committee to review the performance of the CEO. On January 22nd, 2026, the Evaluation Committee met to evaluate the goals and accomplishments of the Chief Executive Officer. Recommendations may be presented at today's board meeting by the committee. Mr. Chairman, this item is turned over to Ms. Maynard for a brief presentation.
Thanks, Decretia. So before I get started, I want to start with a quote because I think it's absolutely appropriate considering it's my evaluation when it really is. It's about the team. Great things in business are never done by one person. They, in fact, are done by a team. And so the accomplishments that you will see in this report are the result of just Team RTC and our collaboration with our jurisdictional partners, your staff, our contractors, so TransDev and their employees, and all our other contractors, as well as the leadership of this board. I want to thank you for your unwavering support as we try to ensure that we're doing the best for our community in terms of keeping the economy and keeping people moving. I also want to thank, and again, I am so lucky that I get to work with Angela Castro, Deputy CEO, David Swallow, Deputy CEO, who, by the way, will be retiring shortly, in a couple of months. Darn it. But I get to introduce 2 new deputy CEOs who have been with the RTC for a number of years. They are exemplary leaders. I'd like to introduce Andrew Kelman as our new deputy CEO and Teresa Gazer as our other deputy CEO. And so the future is bright with these folks in place. And the team itself, RTC team, and you saw a couple of them today, they care deeply about our community. They strive for excellence every single day. And again, very lucky to work alongside all of them. So in my 2024 evaluation, I provided you some priorities for what we wanted to work on. So I'm going to give you just a brief update on that. This past year, as you know, Maryland Parkway is the project. It's the gift that keeps on giving. If you live along Maryland Parkway, by the time that project is done, sometime the end of this year, it's going to be just a game changer in and around that corridor. They made significant progress in underground the utilities, paving a significant portion of the corridor, installing landscape, adding pedestrian bicycle safety features. And again, this project should be done by the end of this calendar year. We also launched the Charleston Boulevard Alternatives Analysis Study. And again, the team completed initial community outreach and technical evaluation of transit lanes, just really mobility improvements in and around that corridor. Charleston is our 3rd busiest transit route, it's a very busy corridor, and again, more to come from that study. We also launched the Southern Nevada Strong Regional, it's the 2050 update. This includes a housing market analysis, documentation of regional partner initiatives, and extensive community outreach. We received over 145,000 touch points, as well as 6,500 survey responses. So phase 2 is ongoing, and we'll make sure to keep you in the loop on that. Oops, excuse me, I want one more time. We also worked closely, again, with Transdev and the operators to improve. We knew that service in the resort corridor needed to be improved. We did in quarter one of 2025, implemented some service changes, and the adjustments have reduced overcrowding, long wait times, and to date, ridership has increased 37% year over year, while on-time performance has exceeded 95%. We also added, we completed, we're calling this phase 3 of the standalone lighting initiative, and this brings the total to over 2,200 independent solar-powered fixtures. So the way that we tell our customers that we care about them is to ensure they feel safe. And in some cases, if the shelters go dark, we want to make sure there's a redundancy in lighting. Also for the operators, so that they see the passengers. It's very difficult if they pass them up many times because this passenger's been waiting at a dark shelter. So that remains a top priority for us. We completed construction on the hydrogen fueling infrastructure. That's going to be ready to go when Maryland Parkway BRT becomes our first route that will have a dedicated fleet of 25 hydrogen fuel cell electric buses. And then we expanded equitable transit access by implementing a reduced fare program for eligible WIC clients, so women, infant, and children clients. They already go through a process to become eligible for WIC, and so we decided, let's go ahead and make it easier for those folks to access our reduced fare when they're able to do that now online. And again, we should have like confetti coming out of the ceiling. Over here, over Angela and David Clyde and Demi Falcone and Maria Nieto Orto. The team, this is the first time that we can all remember where we introduced 3 bills in the legislature and they all passed. And that was, this team, they missed a lot of nights, weeks with their family as they're walking the halls looking for support. Can't thank them enough. Angela, you and your team, incredible, just incredible. And so as you know, AB 530, the fuel revenue indexing, and thanks to Clark County Commission for supporting that enabling legislation, as well as the AB 28, the Transit Funding Ballot Initiative Authority, and then of course SB 290, the Transit Security Expansion. But this team also tracked 118 active bills. They reviewed more than 1,100 draft requests, delivered on 10 measures, produced over 120 legislative briefing packets, and conducted over 150 stakeholder engagements. And again, this is a team that I think is the best when it comes to government affairs in our state. We also processed more than 3,500 paratransit certification applications online. Our goal is to look for ways to improve the customer experience while also saving money. The features has streamlined operations, it's improved efficiency, and it's increased accessibility for applicants. And we save money, we're lowering our mail costs. And then the team continues to work on the regional traffic signal network. They retimed over 216 intersections, including major arterials and previously constrained corridors, such as Las Vegas Boulevard, Harmon Avenue, Colville Lane, and Sands Avenue. In addition, the team addressed broken detection, standardized signal timing where needed, and implemented user-friendly reporting tools to modernize the traffic signal network. So you have in front of you, you have a packet of all of our goals, all of our accomplishments for 2025. I'm just going to mention a few. And so under our core value of sustainability, we continued prioritizing the maintenance of our aging ITS and telecommunications infrastructure across Southern Nevada. So in 2025, the staff replaced 12 miles of fiber optic cable, upgraded 100 traffic cameras, and replaced signal detection at 50 intersections. And again, that's ongoing, it's not a one-off, this is something that we're working on every single year. Staff continue to recruit business partners to promote alternative transportation modes through our Club Ride program. Currently, we have over 250 business partners who have enrolled more than 21,000 of their employees in this program. This year, the Club Ride team completed 277 engagement events and almost 112,000 touch points. So they're out in the community ensuring that folks know how to get to work other than just a single occupant vehicle trip. They also hosted 60 bicycle and pedestrian events, again, focused on safety. And then we also expanded RTC's bike share to the valley's east side with 6 new stations. And it's really nice because we get to engage local artists to help us with those. And then that today brings the system to 38 stations and 115 bikes. This expansion was supported by a federal REACH grant. Under our core value of fiscal stewardship, the staff secured $212.8 million in FRI revenue and refunded bonds to maintain, again, enough jurisdictional funding for our streets and highways program. The refunding of bonds generated almost $5 million in savings, again, strengthening our long-term stability. The finance and grants team also successfully administered a complex federal and local grant portfolio spanning formula and discretionary programs from 8 funding agencies. We know as an agency that we don't generate a profit. Our job is to go after every single dollar that we can, and we go after every grant opportunity that we can. The team executed 86 drawdowns totaling more than $198 million, including a $54 million drawdown for the Maryland Parkway BRT project. We maintained full compliance by preparing and submitting over 250 required financial and performance reports across 37 active grants. The team closed 18 grants totaling almost $49 million while effectively managing 28 open grants with a combined balance of $342 million. Included within the $540 million in 2025, RTC secured new funding awards totaling over $306 million across 13 grants, again, positioning RTC for continued capital and operating investments. And the finance team is also, Sharon, you and your team are amazing because, again, I've been at the RTC 19 years, again, no findings in any of our audits. And this past year, there was the financial statements audit, the FRI agreed upon procedures audit, the National Transit Database audit, and the single audit. So kudos to you, Sharon, and your hardworking team. We also secured $16.45 million in continued funding through the renewal of the Medicaid interlocal contract, enabling reimbursement for not only eligibility assessments, but for also for Medicaid-eligible paratransit trips. The capital improvement program, as you know, consists of 256 projects that are programmed by your agencies, and it's a 10-year program, so from 2026 to 2035. It's valued today at $1.4 billion. At the end of the year, there were 197 active interlocal contracts and over $280 million in paid invoices processed against over 2,400 invoices. This is a small team. I think there's 3 people, and they do a great job ensuring that there's financial transparency and accountability. That's a top priority for this team. The team also consolidated 8 separate facility cleaning contracts into 2, realizing a cost savings of over $800,000. The team also, and I want to make sure that the team, Sharon and his team go after funding that you just, it isn't offered. We search for it, and because of that, through an alternative and renewable fuels and tax credits, there's 2 of those, we received $4.4 million in additional funding. Through contract compliance audits, and again, we take our contracts very seriously and we do audits. The team, we saved $2.4 million this past year, and then our team negotiated, they are tough negotiators with our bus procurement. They were able to negotiate savings of over $1.6 million. Providing quality service to our customers is also a core value. That's one of the reasons that we are all here. The team successfully executed an emergency contract transition in early 2025, completing full handover in just 23 days, and normally that takes 90 days. And I have to thank our team, but also TransDev. This was a very, very difficult, and the staff. There were over 840 employees that were onboarded, 440 vehicles that needed to be inspected, and then critical technology was also installed. Considering it's the 7th busiest paratransit contract, to change contracts in 23 days was a Herculean task, and I can't say enough about our team and TransDev. The RTC fleet team also coordinated vehicle procurement, inspection, and commissioning across multiple bus types. And so the team received 140 paratransit buses and 20 fixed route buses and completed procurement planning for 100 additional vehicles. So these are not additional vehicles, these are replacement vehicles. We, on average, cycle out about 130 vehicles every year. When you look at bus systems in the US, we're in the top 10 for the number of miles that are put on these vehicles every year. And so buying buses is an annual event at the RTC. We also, again, modernized the reduced fare administration by transitioning from legacy ID cards to reloadable tap cards. Sometimes in the transit industry, we make it very difficult to take the passenger's money. So we're looking for other ways to do that aside from taking cash in a fare box. So certainly having a reloadable tap card, streamlining both eligibility verification and fair payment in 2025. We also awarded contracts for 150 general market shelters and 125 slimline shelters. We operate transit in one of the hottest cities in the United States. Ensuring that there is some type of shade at these stops is a top priority. We use grant funding for all the shelters that we buy. I'm, again, really proud of the team for looking for grant funding for that. We also expanded independent transit access by providing one-on-one mobility training to over 1,200 clients. By doing that, paratransit customers right now can ride for free on our fixed route service. We use our mobility training bus, we go out to the community, we train them so that it gives them more options, but it also saved us $700,000 last year. And then, of course, providing quality service to our customers and the operators is a core value. Last year, we successfully executed an emergency contract transition in early 2025. Oh, excuse me, I am on the wrong page here. Here we go. So under leadership, again, of our Senior Director Tom Edebury, the team worked with our security contractor to eliminate dark posts. Now you heard there was one dark post this year. Last year, we had 0 dark posts. That's the first time in the history of this agency that we've had 0 dark posts. And that means the security officers are where they need to be so that the customers feel safe. Again, I can't thank Intercon, Tom and his team for making that happen. The average response time also improved from 11 minutes to a little over 9 minutes. And the team also worked on stronger enforcement where passenger removals, again, you heard Tom, that they increased significantly, about 55%, as well as the trespassing incidents increased by 34.7%. And then as a reminder, the RTC became the first transit agency to implement Zero Eyes. It's an AI threat detection system, and that is across all of our properties. Last year, we added 184 new camera views for a total of 274 views system-wide, enhancing, again, real-time firearm detection. So last year, Zero Eyes detected weapons 38 times. 2 were true positive, 27 were non-lethal, and then 9 were because the law enforcement was on our properties. And then we continued the panic button deployment to coach operators last year with 46 activations recorded. So that means the operators used that panic button 46 times to let us know that they needed help. Last year, we added 70 more buttons, bringing the total system-wide to 620. Again, we're trying to improve the response time to the operators. And then we successfully completed FAST Stage 1 SMART grant project, testing a cloud-based signal optimization platform for transit signal priority and advanced intersection analytics. The system, the advanced intersection analytics, it achieved a 92% traffic accuracy and a 98% safety insight accuracy. What does that mean? This equipment, this technology is working to catch near misses, pedestrian vehicle on vehicle, and it's going to be a very useful tool going forward. The TSP, that's the transit signal priority, was implemented along Charleston around the University Medical Center at 17 intersections. That improved transit on-time performance by 4%. I'm losing my place here. And then we prepared for, again, this is getting out to the community. That's our job as a regional agency. Both the traffic management and transit teams continue to strengthen our readiness for plans for major events in 2025, including CES, EDC, the Electro Daisy Carnival, NASCAR, Formula One, and the Super Bowl, while also supporting more than 900 events. This is no small feat and takes extensive preparation, staffing, and coordinated planning with law enforcement, fire, and venue partners, and post-event debriefing processes while developing a comprehensive action plan for both reoccurring and unplanned incidents. And it would be remiss if I did not mention the operators they're the ones that are driving these events. It is not easy on them as well. The team, also, Teresa and her team hosted a bi-weekly regional events traffic management working group meetings with more than 130 partner agencies. They upgraded infrastructure with new cameras and fiber along critical corridors, refined signal timing, and transitioned the operations center to 24/7. These actions, again, improve interagency coordination, traffic flow, and regional readiness for high-attendance events. And again, our partnership with NDOT continues to be a big plus. And so thank you, Tracy, and your team. We also continued the RISE, that's our Resource Involvement Support and Education Program. That's a focus. We want to make sure that fuel revenue indexing dollars remain local and that local small businesses benefit from that. And so we help them get certified. And once they're certified, they have a chance again to respond to a contract. And so to date, there are 114 firms that are certified in this database, with more than 20 actively working on RTC projects. During the first 3 quarters of the year, 7% of the awarded contracts, and that's totals more than $185 million, went to RISE firms, again, reinforcing our commitment to local small businesses. And Board, I've said this to you before, it's very, very unique that you are not only the board of a public transit agency, the RTC, but you're also the board for the Metropolitan Planning Organization. That's a model you do not see very often here in the United States. The MPO is federally required to coordinate both long and short-range transportation plans. The MPO receives federal funding and ensures that dollars spent in a coordinated way that reflects regional transportation plans and needs. It brings together local governments, your staff, state agencies, transportation authorities, and they are required to engage the public in the planning process. And so this is just a very small number of plans that this team, it's the full amount, again, is in the book that you have in front of you. But I want to start out by recognizing the fact that the Nevada chapter of the American Planning Association's Plan of the Year went to our team, the MPO, for the Let's Go 2050. That's our long-range transportation plan. And again, it's looking to integrate housing, resiliency, equity, climate adaptation. And this is something that, again, is in work with the staff. It's realizing and prioritizing 134 local agency projects for implementation. We worked, Councilman Seebach, with your team on the Henderson Transportation Mobility Plan. That establishes long-range strategies and performance metrics to provide, again, transportation investments in your community. We worked with the Mesquite Master Transportation and Capital Improvement Plan with their team. It provides a 20-year roadmap to enhance, again, local and regional mobility, safety, and multimodal connectivity. The team, again, worked closely with Clark County to update their perfect storm. We added special events into that perfect storm study, and that was, we wanted to assess what the congestion would look like in the resort corridor, knowing what we know today and what's planned for development in the future. And so more to come on that, but it's certainly aligned with our onboard mobility plan to improve traffic management, multimodal mobility, and coordinated event operations. And then something we've been working on for quite a while, it's the Nellis Air Force Base Transportation Study that provides data-driven recommendations. How do you improve access in and around the base itself? So some projects have been identified. I think the next step is to look for federal funding to support those projects. And then per Assembly Bill 343, that was from last 2023 session, the team continues to work closely with Southern Nevada Health District to complete walk audits. They did 10 walk audits last year. And that you can find the findings are on the Southern Nevada walk audit website. And then finally, we launched an all-access mobility plan, and this, again, is federally funded. It prioritizes mobility hub locations in and around the valley. We also launched the Boulder Highway Transit-Oriented Development Study, and this is going to analyze transit-oriented development in and around a corridor that crosses 3 jurisdictions. Again, we incorporated over 1,300, right now we're focusing on Henderson, received over 1,300 survey responses from the City of Henderson and working closely with the City of Henderson staff. And then we produced a regional high injury network, something called the Safe Streets for All plan, and that, again, it's a regional high injury network and systematic crash analysis. That plan received over 6,000 survey results. through the Let's Go Safely public engagement campaign. And more to come, and that again is working closely with your teams to develop and talk about and hope for Vision Zero fatalities in our community. So just very quickly, I'd like to highlight some of the things that we're working on for this year. We will begin a long-term community engagement and education campaign to build awareness around the value of trans, but also the current funding shortfall that we are facing, which is a very significant shortfall. We're going to oversee the fixed route request for proposals, and to the gentleman's point earlier, we want to ensure that this RFP process is transparent, it's competitive, and it is outcome-driven. And so I really appreciated his comments. And then after working with the Fair and Service Working Group, we'll be bringing to you next month the recommendations from that working group as it relates to a potential fare increase for our customers, both para and fixed. Once board you approve that, we'll have to undergo a Title VI fare analysis, and we'll get started on that again this year. And we'll continue to get Maryland Parkway up and running, because again, we hope to have it in place and ready to go by the end of this calendar year. And you know, if you sit at red lights, you go through green lights, you know that this is an ongoing effort to modernize the traffic signal system, because it is right now, it's sort of a patchwork of various jurisdictions' equipment. And so Teresa and her team, we're looking at both software and hardware improvements, and that is something that we're looking for grant funding to do, but that is going to be a collaborative year-over-year improvement. We're also going to launch it's going to be called Ride RTC C&Say, and this will allow customers to not only report issues on our buses, but also at our shelters and at our facilities. Mr. Hennessy's talked about the BOC and recordings, and I want to thank Councilman Knudsen for your direction on this, your leadership here. We are going to support TransDev in onboarding and implementing a recording system for radio communication between dispatch and bus operators, something they don't have today. This effort will strengthen operational oversight and improve real-time and post-event analysis of service delivery. We're going to launch the RideCo Paratransit technology platform. This is a big deal. I know it's just a sentence here. We've had outdated proprietary software system trapeze in the paratransit operations since inception. And so this new technology is going to improve service not only for the drivers and how they operate, but also for our customers and the real-time information that they're going to receive. We launched the Safe Streets for All Action Plan in 2025, and we'll complete temporary demonstration projects and associated data collection efforts in 2026, and this will be done with local entities and DOT, and then we will implement a pedestrian collision avoidance system on our buses. We're going to start small, and as we receive grant opportunities, we'll expand that. It's going to improve the safety of passengers and individuals on the road. And so I just want to, again, let you know that we remain steadfast in doing what we can on behalf of you, our board, but more importantly, on behalf of our community. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Decretia Harris.
Ms. Harris?
Thank you, MJ. On January 22nd, 2026, the Evaluation Committee staff was provided a review of executive compensation similar to similar transit agencies and local agencies. The Evaluation Committee recommended a 3% salary increase, which is consistent with what staff receives, and the same cost of living adjustment as staff in July 2026. Mr. Chairman, this item is now turned over to you and the board for action.
Thank you, Ms. Harris, and thank you, Ms. Maynard-Carey, for your presentation and for all the tremendous work that you and your entire team have done over the last year. I thought the Evaluation Committee did a good job of not only reviewing all of the good work, but having a good conversation about action items for the next year, and made recommendations. And so, I don't know if there's any further discussion. If not, then I'll entertain Councilman Knudsen. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one quick request. At the request of Mr. Williams on the Narcan training, can you incorporate the analysis of that for next year? I've done that at the City of Las Vegas with the Southern Nevada Health District. The training is about 10 to 15 minutes, and the Health District is a good distributor of Narcan. Thank you.
Will do.
Any other comments?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the part that goes unsaid, because you're not going to tout that yourself. You've been an outstanding leader and actually putting a good team around you. Together with you at the helm, I am very much convinced that you're a good steward of the public trust. You're doing as much as you possibly can with the funds that you have. I guess, and I would very much be, of course, I'm going to be backing up the recommendation that we did in our small committee. The only thing is, going forward, I think we're going to be tasking you, as far as I'm concerned here, with the impossible, and that is to try to predict, to try to find the path forward is not clear at this point financially. The public, of course, should be aware that there are challenges to governments all across the state of Nevada because of financial realities that are connected to, of course, tourism and money flowing into our state or not flowing into our state. There are also challenges in how, overall, as a state, how we're going to divvy up resources that may or may not be there in the future. So I guess what I'm getting at is, as we move forward, what I would be expecting is for you to bring, between you and your team, and maybe some outside partners, other partners that are working with us, coming together and making that plan. That's a lot of brain power, much more than I have singly, right? But I'm certain that there can be efficiencies that can be found. New strategies, new implementations, new modes of travel that perhaps we have not yet, encountered, and we're going to need to be, I think, pioneers, because again, our community is unique in the fact that you're doing a lot. Again, you brought in the last year? How many buses did we bring on? That represents more than most agencies have. Period. Right? We have probably more buses that get repaired and have maintenance done on them, again, that more than more agencies have in the entire state of Nevada right now, because I've been around. That being said, there's also a few little minor things that, again, that are not stated here that I think you should be commended for. In the past, I've seen, just a few years ago, when we were challenged, we didn't have enough mechanics to maintain our buses. You could see the buses that were stalled and kaput on the side of the road, and you don't see them as much anymore. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I have. I've seen our security personnel out and about everywhere. I run into them everywhere in East Las Vegas and North Las Vegas. I go across town and I run into them, and I have chats with them, and I'm really impressed, right? And that's good leadership. And you brought in a really great person to see that. Again, nothing's perfect. I get it, but we're definitely making steps forward. And again, you can see little things here that maybe are not being stated, but I'm convinced that we have the right person and you have the right team around you to accomplish not everything what you have in your goals, but also to take us that next step beyond. And I guess that's a challenge I'm putting out to you, that next step. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I just want to note, there had been comments previously, for every one of these public board meetings that we have, there are many more meetings that occur where we are sifting through all of the data. We are having conversations with all of the senior team so that we can fully understand and evaluate not just the performance of the CO, but evaluate the agency itself. And so I just want to make sure that it's very clear that we don't just show up once a month, and that's the sum total of our involvement here. We're all extremely involved in making sure that we understand what's going to take in order for this organization to succeed, and it's only going to succeed with your leadership and the leadership team that you have assembled here. So with that, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
There's a motion to adopt the recommendations from the evaluation committee. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate your support, but again, we are where we are today because of the team and because of the efforts of our contractors, their employees. So many thanks to my team.
Ms. Maynard-Carey, did we skip 46?
Yes, we did.
Okay, making sure. Thank you, Mayor, for noticing.
And so, agenda item 46 is to appoint 3 members and an alternate to the RTC Finance Committee.
All right, raise your hand if you're interested. Okay, All right, then we have a motion to appoint Councilman Seebach, Councilman Knudsen, Councilman Barone, and Mayor Berkeley to the the Finance Committee, and myself. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Great, thank you. Agenda item 48 is to receive information from our attorney. As there are no items to discuss this month, we can move on to your last agenda item, which is to conduct your final citizens participation period.
This is the second time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to provide public comment with regards to any matters before the Regional Transportation Commission, please step forward to the microphone or one will be handed to you. Please state your name for the record and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. We're going to hear first from Ms. Shelley Jones.
Hi, my name is Shelley Jones, S-H-E-L-L.
Good morning, everybody. Francesca Parker.
Sorry, just 1 sec. We're gonna have Ms. Jones over here. Sorry.
Okay.
S-H-E-L-L-E-Y-J-O-N-E-S. And I like all the programs. And the drivers are very courteous and they're very, oh, God, I can't think of the word. Anyways, they do a wonderful job. I really like all the programs. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Anyone else need a microphone taken to them? If not, we'll take our next speaker then. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners meeting. Good morning, Mayor Berkeley. I voted for you. Anyway, my name is Francesca Parker. I am ATU 1637 shop steward, and I am a bus driver at the IBMF Simmons Yards. And I got a couple of things, and I'm going to do it in 3 minutes. Okay, first I want to thank the Intercom Security because I brought up a topic that doing the 206 with a lot of homeless people out there sleeping at night, that it was very unsafe because I do it at 1 o'clock in the morning and it's like 10 men out there. I can't go to the bathroom. They have increased our security. I want to thank them, their director or their CEO, because Intercom has been doing a great job with protecting us on these buses, especially women who are working really, really wee hours of the morning or at night. And I feel a lot better about coming to work and not want to not go to work because I'm thinking I'm going to be assaulted by a man in the middle of the night. So I want to thank Intercom. I also want to thank, it's a lot of the BOC staff that has been doing an excellent job. They all are not the same. Whoever answers the phone, certain BOC staff I love. And some I answer the phone, they act like we're bothering them. So I will actually call back and get somebody else, and we shouldn't have to worry about that because they are there to help us and not there to be a burden. We shouldn't feel like we're a burden every day. I also want to address the 203, which the Spear has now increased the traffic there. It is really bad. And it's not just on the weekends, because I don't do 203 Saturday and Sunday. I have an operator who's here now. She did do the 203 during the week, and unfortunately she's been terminated because of a safety issue that they felt that she didn't address. This particular operator is Valerie Gomachi. She does turn in reports for everything. So her losing her job for something they feel that needed to be reported is totally wrong, and it needs to be looked into, especially with the stack of reports that she has for the safety issues that's on 203. Also, the kids that gets on that route after school, they are very disrespectful. They have threw things, they have assaulted people on that route, and I'm thinking you should get with CCSD to come up with some type of resolution for their school kids who catches our bus, because they're very disrespectful. And a lot of the drivers don't want to let them on, but I like kids to go to school, so if they don't have the fare, let them on, and that's what you said before, right, MJ? Let's come up with a button that we can push when it's a CCSD kid, because I don't want these kids to be skipping school because they don't have fare to get to school. And the one other thing is, when you brought up the bus stops, we do need lights at the bus stop on Lamont and Cheyenne South. They don't have any lights, and people don't like to stand at the bus stops because of the darkness. But that's all I have, and thank you guys for listening. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. Speaker.
Good morning, Noah Astor. I just have to say this before I start. When I come here and speak, I come here because I believe in the system, I believe in everyone here, and also I care. So anything I say is not a direct attack on anyone. It does no good, it doesn't fix anything. With that being said, good morning, Noah Astor, Noah, N-O-A, A-S-T-O-R. I want to talk about the Linux system that is currently in place in the coaches. This, from what I understand, this comes installed in the buses. We've had several contractors that have decided it is not a good idea to turn it on. Transdev has made a decision to turn it on under the guise of safety and security. I can kind of get that. The majority of what I see with this Linux system is discipline and termination. With that being said, RTC is a licensee of the program, and Transdev is a third-party user. There are strict compliance rules under NRS 603A, which I have not seen followed, okay? The Linux system collects, tracks, and stores biometric data of the operator, eye and head movements, hand movements, in addition to breathing, along with a host of other information. 603A 2.210 dictates data collectors follow reasonable security measures for storing, dissemination, maintaining, destruction of said biometric data. There should also be releases for the people that this is being collected from. To date, I have not seen nor signed one. And in addition to that, it's SB 370, which also implements rules for data collectors, again, which would be RTC as the licensee and Transdev as a third-party user. We don't know, what they're using the biometric data for. Who is in charge of looking at it? What are their qualifications? Is it being disseminated? What is the retention period? What is the destruction period? And who can they give it to? We know why they're using it, to promote your AI buses. That is what essentially it does. Personally, as a driver, I find it overly intrusive. Someone watching my every move, literally. So picture you're in your office, you have an itch in your genitalia or a bra strap. You scratch it. Someone's watching you. How does that make you feel? For a driver, you're kind of concerned about what that camera's watching instead of watching what you're supposed to be doing. We need to find some middle ground with that. And lastly, real quick, to my knowledge, with the building cleaners, nothing's changed. And everything I've seen, RTC's violated and went against their policy, their mission statement. I do have an incident I would like to explore and relay to anyone that would like to listen if you have 3 minutes after this is over. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Astor. Mr. Hennessy.
Just a driver, sir, just a driver. I want to commend the board. What I've seen over the course of years, I've been very passionate about safety and security. I've seen a tremendous improvement since Mr. Atterbury came on board. There's been, as MJ states, Tom has been a great addition. I've had many conversations on the side with Tom. Tom's a good guy. But I think the biggest fault we have in our safety and security right now lies in our BOC system. I had a conversation with Tom maybe 4 months ago, right here in this room, and he stated, hey, he has nothing to do with BOC. That's somebody else's responsibility. He said, but if he was in charge of it, I don't know if you remember saying this, he said he'd have blown it up a year ago. And I think that's a pretty strong statement. Again, ask you to look at the statistics. My experience is I don't get 3-minute return phone calls. Sometimes I do. I'm not saying never. But typically, the response time to BOC and then the response time for intercom to get to us is 30, 40 minutes. By the time you're on a bus, you don't have 30 or 40 minutes. So that being said, in talking about presence of security in the city, you can ask most drivers, and the first thing you'd say is, "What about intercom?" When they're riding buses, They're very good. They're out there, they're walking. Problem is, we don't see enough of them out there riding buses, and I do Charleston 2 days a week. I see them, but I should see them a little bit more. Again, when you're at the South Strip, you're at the Charleston layover for the 206 at Red Rock. What does Intercon do? What is their priority? It should be to get on a bus, walk the bus, come back. What the public sees as their priority is taking pictures of the bus, taking pictures of the inside of the bus. I'm not saying that's not necessary, but they're all wearing body cameras. Why are we taking time to take pictures instead of evaluating what's going on the bus? So I would ask that maybe we address BOC issues and that maybe we get our emphasis towards protecting us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Valerie Gamache. I'm the person that Francesca mentioned. I have recently been terminated from TransDev for a safety issue on the 203 route. I just want to take a few seconds to tell you a little bit about my history. I am a native New Yorker, which means I grew up using the best transit system in America, and I also rode my bike from Brooklyn to Manhattan every morning, so I was a rider in the best city. I also became a paratransit driver, school bus, and CDL tractor trailer driver in New York. So I was a Brooklyn girl, not an easy one to assault or do anything like that to, because I grew up hard. My dad's from upstate New York, Saratoga Springs, and I learned to drive on all kinds of situations, weather, and roads with all those vehicles growing up. I was a tour logistics manager for the best Grammy artists in the world, and I produced music shows through all the major countries, cities in the world. I am very good at my job. I was given the 203 route, this bid, and every single day I had safety and security issues that I reported in incident reports. I begged for help. I asked Intercom's security. I have a very different take. I do not feel like they're doing their job, and it's because of my route was only my route. Those other union workers have a larger scale picture of the other routes, and I think they are probably doing what they're supposed to on Charleston and some of the other routes. My particular route, I never had them on my bus ever. Not one time. I had 2 people standing at Desert and Eastern, including a sergeant that I would request ride-alongs with on a daily basis after I almost ran over school children that were pushing each other in front of my bus after they were committing felonies around my bus stop. I'm talking assaulting, I'm talking robbing, I'm talking guns and weapons. They have closed the businesses around Twain and Maryland, the gas stations, the Taco Bell, because of the amount of crime. Now, if that BRT is going to be successful around what they call Cocaine Alley, which has been the largest drug trafficking area of Las Vegas since the 80s, then we're going to have to deal with these serious security issues. There's so much construction there and so much lack of route and drivers and buses on that route going by the Sphere. You are intermingling with lots of tourists. I grew up. I ran tours with the biggest artists in the world. I'm used to a lot of fans, tourists. I'm very good at this. I've even made suggestions to my security and safety team many times about how Formula One could be routed better and differently and use the space. You guys, please utilize me on committees. Please look into the safety issues. We are not getting them on the routes. I've asked, and we were refused multiple times, and we're paying for that. They get paid more to be on my bus than I get paid to drive, and I have to do their job and mine, and I lost my job over it. It's not correct. Please look into this.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
How you doing? I'm Monique Applewhite. I'm a passenger on the bus. I've been riding the bus for a whole year, and the Charleston bus never meet up with the 119. I'm always not been able to get home or not been able to make it to work on time. Also, when we get to the Charleston and Salone, my store sits on Charleston and Sahara. Charleston and Salone. Sahara and Salone, and the Charleston bus go down Tree Line. But once I get to Charleston and what is it? When you just go to Charleston? Well, it's Charleston and Salone. When I get off one bus, I have to transfer to a second bus. They're both 206. I have to pay a second time to get on the bus. I don't feel that's fair. If I'm continuing my route, why am I paying a second time? Also, the 214. I know it's under construction right now. It just began. It passes me up. The police stopped the car in front of the bus stop. I waved. He passed me right by. He didn't stop in the front or the back. He passed me right by. I feel that was wrong too. I think they need to, some of your bus drivers don't care about their job, they just come. And I feel that's not right to us passengers because we need to get to where we're going and y'all going. They need to just do their job because we do ours. You do have some good drivers, I'm not complaining about how they drive. It's just, and then I also I use my map that they gave us on the phone. It'll tell me one time, and then when I look again, it's an hour later. I don't know what be going on with that. But yeah, so it'll be very thankful if you guys can do that for me. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. My name's Kathleen Kumar, and I'm a BOC operator. You're welcome. Anyways, I'll let you know. I started with RTC, well, actually with paratransit in 1997 as an operator. I think it's $6.23 an hour. Best job I ever had. Thank you very much. I learned how to serve the community with that job. I went on to be a dispatcher for paratransit and a master scheduler for paratransit. I also drove fixed route for Keolis and MV, and now I'm a BOC dispatcher. And I will tell you, I've gone through ATC Vancom, Laidlaw, First Transit, Transdev, Keolis, MV, Transdev again. So I've been through all of your contractors, and I know, with that experience, I know and I see what works and what hasn't worked. And I'm just saying, whoever's coming in with the RFP, just take the time to get to know the employees, because you have a lot of people who have a lot of knowledge and have been here. And I'm 61 now, so I don't know if I'll make it to the end of the next one, but I'm here, and we all are here to do a job. And my previous employers with paratransit, they taught me that RTC is my customer, then the passenger and the operator, and then my boss. So when I do BOC, I try to answer as quickly as I can. You guys just don't understand. In BOC, it's quite like a 911 center. We are problem solvers. That's all we do all day long. And calls can take anywhere from a minute to sometimes longer. There's people requesting medical, passenger falls, all different kinds of situations, and there's only so many of us in there, and we do try the hardest that we can. I'm being honest. I know when I go sit down, because I was an operator, I do try to do my best. People may not think so, but I really do. I do, and I always have. Like I said, I worked for Valerie Flores, Ping Ramos was with me, Terry Reed, Alan Keller, Sue Joseph, RTC. We used to all work hand in hand. I don't know if you all still do that now, but I love that. And I worked with Diala Newell when I was a master scheduler, and we worked together as a team. I'd like to see that more, even with all your contractors, because we used to have meetings together. I don't know if you all still do that, but I enjoyed that as a scheduler, and I think that should be done more often, so everybody know what's going on. Anyways, thank you for your time. Thank you for letting me be a paratransit operator. And like I said, the customers that ride paratransit and paratransit operators, drivers, road supervisors, I commend them all, and the fixed route operators. I love them too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Chairman, Board, MJ, and the RTC team. I'm Susan Sweat, Chief Operating Officer of Transit at Transdev. And I just wanted to take an opportunity to share a story with you all. Recently, we hosted a 6-month campaign called Season of Service, and all of our contracts across the country participated. It's an opportunity for our teams to get out in the communities where they both live and work and volunteer for events and community engagement. And it's kind of a contest. So over the 6 months, based on opportunities that they had, we have a winner, and it's right here in Las Vegas. So hats off to the paratransit contract here in Las Vegas. They were the winner across all of TransDev. We are so proud of all of the events that they participated in. It included the ACS Breast Walk, the Shade Tree donation, the Disability Awareness Day, just many, many events over the last 6 months. They are out there and they are proud in the community. I also would like to thank Antoinette Braddock, Terry Reed, and many of the RTC members, team members who participated with us in some of those events. It was a great show of strength, and we're very proud of the paratransit contract and the work that they've done in the communities. So hats off to them.
Thank you and congratulations.
Good morning. My name is Stephanie. I'm the recording secretary for ATU. I'm also an operator. The last person that just came up was my mother who spoke. I share all the time that I am from Las Vegas. I have a large range of family who ride the buses. She made a statement about operators not wanting to be here. I want to recant that statement for her because I'm an operator and I have a passion for what I do. But there is situations where MJ, you brought up that buses are starting at sunset. That's getting the equipment before they go out on the road. My concerns were sunset, keep those buses. We get recycled down after they did their million-mile runs on them. Yeah, we might see the number 22 series or 23 series, but IBMF is getting buses like transmission problems, suspension problems. We're getting the ones where the buttons are not working for the things that we need, like our seats sinking down while you're en route, or the air is being left out of the seats when you're driving, you're getting your seats moving. Those things, just because the numbers say brand new and it looks like luxury, we're not getting that same experience as those operators. Now, my mom did have an experience with the 214 and the Charleston bus, and this is an all-the-time thing. And I'm not sure if it's because of equipment or if it's because we just don't have enough operators. I don't want to say they don't care about their job, but she actually lost her job. So there was a time she called me crying. I did call someone, and they sent a supervisor out, but by this time I already Ubered her. It was still too late. But it's just not enough that's going on right now with the operators and the equipment for them to be on time to these stops. My grandfather, he is an amputee. He sat out for 4 hours. I literally got off of work at 7:30 and went to the 214 and picked him up. That was not a bus that came. Not a bus that came. So they think I've been doing this for 10 years. Anytime there's a situation that happens, they are going to call me first. I am at this bus stop. This driver did this. This just happened. The app is doing this. It said the bus will be here at this time, and it's not. I can't answer all the questions for them, but literally it's about 3 of us in my family that have vehicles. When I say my entire family rides public transportation, they ride public transportation, and they are relying on us. So these things are important to me and very, very serious to me, especially when I have my disabled grandmother and grandfather and my senior citizen aunties, uncles, and mother riding the buses. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. there's anyone else who wants to speak,
Hi, the commission.
please come forward. Otherwise, Mr. Nimrod will be our last speaker.
Yes. How y'all doing this morning? You're doing a fantastic job. I couldn't do it. No way. Anyhow, my name is Eric Melket. And MJ and her mighty team is fantastic. I mean, phew, just look at all that paper there. Whoa, all right, MJ. And the mighty Mayor Shelley, always here. My name is Eric Melchizedek Christ Nimrod. Since this is Black History Month, I'm going to tell the truth again. In Christianity, it's taught that Genesis chapter 9, verse 25, where it says, "Cursed be Canaan, the servant of servants shall he be," is interpreted in the commentaries in all the Bibles that's meant for black people to be the lowest of slaves to the Jew and the white man. Now, look it up. They'll all say that. But that word, servant, in the Hebrew language means servant of God. That's all I'm going to say on that. The black preachers need to look on that. Is he right? Does it mean lowest of slaves, or does it mean servant of God? The Hebrew word is eved. That no use, eved. Check it out, look it up. You're being taught a fake artificial religion by artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. Now, what I have to say is, when you get on a bus, you expect for the bus to stop, pick up people, and move. Stop, pick up people, and move. Some buses just stay there. Just sit. And don't say, well, we're going to sit here for 2 minutes or 5 minutes. Don't have to say the reason, just say that you're going to sit there. But they don't say anything. They just stop the bus and let it sit. And the bus drivers do their job. I see this, it's good, cool. But give us passengers some information as to why we're sitting there when we have someplace to go. We have an appointment. That's all.
Thanks, sir. We have one more speaker then? Okay, all right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sabrina. My husband was the guy that got the award, so I'm excited about that. My twin is also an operator, so I'm excited about that. But I was on my way out. I didn't want to actually bring it up, but she told me, no, talk about it because it's a big deal. So it's a trend going on where the students are getting on the bus to jump on the adults, physically fight them. And I know about this because my son also rides the bus, but he's not one of those kids. But he brought it up to me. It's been talked about and expressed to my sister. And I guess they actually been taking this thing out like it's actually been a serious matter. Because my son came home a few times and said, "Mom, the kids are getting on the bus and they're fighting old people, they're fighting the drivers." And in that situation, what are the operators supposed to do? I drove for CCSD, and we were taught to just stay in our seats, and I kind of feel like that's like you guys' genre as well. But when you're getting someone on the bus, physically hurting you, what do? You get what I mean? Or even the passengers, you got children fighting senior citizens. I wouldn't be able to sit back and watch. Good thing I don't drive the bus. But I also used to work for Ally Universal. I was tactical as well, so I know how it could be when security isn't around, or when we are around. And it's still a fine line for them because it's only so much they can do because we're not law enforcement, right? So just to keep an eye on that, at least if we're vigilant, get more officers out there, especially around the schools. The high schoolers are bigger than us. I'm 5'3", and these guys are 15, standing taller than us. So just to bring awareness to that.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. I'll go ahead and close the second public comment period, and we are adjourned. Thank you.